This is your 2020 BMW Z4, all new for this model year. We're with the M40i version. So over the outgoing model, this is 3.3 inches longer, it's 2.9 inches wider, and it's about half an inch taller. So it's grown in all directions. Let's jump into our perks, quirks, and irks. So about perk for me is the lighting setup. So it's got this nice vertical line as far as your LED turn signals go. You get two different levels for your headlights. So there's one L for your day runner, there's another L for your day runner, and that big lens in the middle is your regular light. Let's take a look at the front end. Very sharp, very nice. Still has the kidney grille, but it's more of that mesh look as opposed to the traditional kidney grille pattern on the inside. So very nice there. Just a good looking front end. I don't have any complaints about it at all. It looks really sharp, very defined, and very, very luxurious. Let's go around the side of the vehicle. I know we started on that, but let's just go back around. Turn signals integrated into the side mirrors there. 19-inch wheels with the M brake calipers. This hardly happens, but that BMW is pretty much almost straight. And this BMW logo on the wheel is pretty much almost straight. So that hardly happens. An irk for me, yes, it's an M vehicle, but like, I don't know, show it off. Make that M, twice the size, if not a little bigger. Another perk, functional air vents, not just a decorative piece. Let's go around the rear of the vehicle. My only complaint here is that the reverse light is just a single light in the middle. I think it should be on each one of the lights. Just get better visibility that way. You get twin tailpipes, a very good looking finish there. There's one, there's the other, and there's your badging up top, and you have your LED turn signals in red, and your brake lights. Let's take a look in the trunk. 281 liters of cargo space, so it's way more than the outgoing model. No spare tire back here. What you have is your battery. Let's close that up. You got a flat tire, or whatever it is. You have it. Oh, how do we do that? There we go. There's your tire fill kit right there. We'll relock that. Very cool move here. You can just open that up, and you can put stuff through there. Now, if you keep this closed and open up that one, that's a little more storage space for you because, well, it is a two-door and two-seat vehicle, so you don't really have the world's most amount of space. Let's just keep going because, well, why not? Cool move here, Z4 into that part of the vehicle. Very nice. I'll show you the vehicle. We'll put the roof up a little bit, and what that'll do is show you how it moves itself. So you have the comfort access option. You press the BMW logo, which is the lock button. Up go the flaps, up goes the roof, and it goes into itself, so it doesn't affect the trunk space at all. So I really like how BMW has done that. Just kind of gives you the best of both worlds. Gives you the soft top open air, and if you got to put a couple of carry-ons or whatever it is in the trunk, if you're going places, it definitely works. So the trunk, also known as the roof, is not fully closed. It's going to jump in, and we'll be fairly quick with this. And you'll always get a notice, retractable top not locked. So we'll start the car. Again, this should look very familiar to a lot of you. It's the same pattern as it was in, I believe, the X5 and the M850i. So I want to open the roof up. Nope, that's not the right way. That was to close it. Which is weird. Down for open and up for close. I would have thought it's the other way around. But anyways, you have your iDrive 7. All right, everything is good. And people aren't really a big fan of this. They don't like that the tack is on the right and it goes backwards, so to speak, as far as counterclockwise. They say everything should be going from that way to that way. I don't mind it. I'm used to it. I have no problems with this. Put the turn signal off. Really nice inside of the door finish. It just looks really, really sharp. No, you don't get my wallet or a magnet or a pack of gum with the car. Maybe if you ask your dealer nicely, he might throw that in. But really nice pattern there. Nice cognac leather. Steering wheel's great. Nice M badging. Where is it? Right there. Heated steering wheel. And again, this is kind of par for the course. 12.3 inch touchscreen display. Really easy to use. Really easy to operate. Again, not going to spend too much time on this because, well, you've seen it all before. Wireless charging tray is an option. My iPhone 10 fits in here absolutely perfectly. You got a USB here, and if you don't want people to see your stuff, just close her up. So, cool quirk. Let's go perk. It is a hard perk for me. So you can definitely see it's not even. This panel is a little shorter, that's a little longer because that's where your cup holders are. So if you want to have a drink or two and still have part of your armrest, you just put one side down, and that's a nice, clever way of accommodating drinks and comfort. Back here you have some storage in the form of a net, and about a couple minutes ago I opened up the trunk. I'll open up this part of it now, so you have some storage there, and that was the part that I opened. Let's close that up. You get some speakers there and back there. There's a 10 speaker option and a 12 speaker option as far as the Z4 goes. One gets you 250 watts, and I believe the other is 464. Aside from that, there's really, I'm not minimizing or dismissing the vehicle, but this is taken from other BMWs, and so is this, and so is that. Cool paddle shifters as well. So I'm going to wrap up the video here. Everything is typical, predictable BMW, and we all want to get in the road and see what it's like, because that's going to be the real important part of the video. Should I say that? Yeah, I'm gonna keep it in, because, well, it's an all new vehicle, and it's got a new chassis, and it drives incredibly well. Anyway, let's wrap up with the logo. You know what? Let's take a look under the hood. We'll be right back. Under the hood of the 2020 Z4 M40i, you got a 3-liter straight 6 turbocharged, 382 horse, 369 pound-feet of torque. The engine looks great. It sounds even better. And don't judge it right now because we're idling in comfort mode, but once we get out in the road, you'll hear just how good it can sound. The hood is massive, and it's hydraulics, and it's great, and typical BMW. I wanted to give you a quick look. Let's go for one more close-up look before we jump on the road. Let's do the drive. 2020 Z4 M40i. So as mentioned, it's a 3-liter straight 6 turbo engine, 382 horse, 369 pound-feet of torque. So I have it in Sport Plus, and that's where you really hear the snap, crackles, and pops. And I'll just be quiet for a second. So hopefully the microphone picked all that up. And if you don't want the Sport Plus, you still want Sport, but not as much, there's the Sport Standard. Now, interestingly, when you have it in comfort mode, all the snap, crackles, and pops, and gurgles, and blurbles, they go away. So if you're coming home late at night, or you're driving through an area that you think may not appreciate all of your lovely BMW exhaust notes, pop it in comfort. Or if you just want a little more of a comfortable ride, do that. But the sport mode for me is where I've spent pretty much all of my week. It's a Z4, and it's a turbocharged engine, and it's a Roadster, and that's what you're supposed to do with this car. It kind of just really wants to be opened up and driven, and I think that's what you should be doing if you're picking up a Z4 for whatever reason. And I gotta say that with the engineering that's gone into it, it's got an all new chassis. There's just so much of explosive power out of the vehicle. What else can we touch on here? So, yes, we have the convertible roof, 10 seconds to open and close it, and that's done at speeds up to 50 kilometers an hour. 300 liters of cargo space, so the car is functional. But as far as the drive goes, it's surprisingly smooth for such a powerful engine in such a small vehicle. I was expecting to kind of be thrown around a little bit, but nope, BMW has done a great job. And part of that is the exact 50-50 weight distribution, so there's a nice even balance there as well. The active differential lock really reduces any kind of oversteer or understeer, so that goes back to this being a very precise and sharp vehicle. Handling, cornering, there's nothing to complain about. The car sticks, it's planted, you pretty much just point the nose, and it quickly and obediently responds and does it. What else can we say? The interior, typical BMW, you get the 12.3-inch screen, and again, easy to pull your information from. I like that you can open and close the roof in motion. Some cars you can't do that. You've got to come out to a full stop, and whether you or your passenger just want a break from the sun or whatever it is, it's good that BMW will allow you to do that. The adaptive suspension here is another big exclamation mark, because that's what helps it hug the corners and again sort of keep you fully planted, and it just does a tremendously wonderful job I don't really have many complaints about the new Z4, and you know, I'm not going to mention that other Japanese brand that had a little bit, maybe a lot of it, maybe a little bit to do with sharing the engine and some interior bits, because, well, everybody else has done it and I refuse to do it. So what I am going to focus on is just the sheer driving pleasure you get out of the 2020 Z4. Now, mileage-wise, fuel economy-wise, I'm at 10.5, and that's with a week in sport mode, and I've done 364 kilometers. I've got 150 kilometers left, so you get decent range out of it, and the gas tank holds 52 liters. And I'm gonna head out to Toronto after this review and play a little show with a band, and then bring the car back to BMW. So, you know, there's another, I don't know, 100-ish kilometers, and I really don't think the car is gonna go over 11 liters per 100 kilometers. So for a heavier car with a massive engine, yes, it's a small footprint, but, you know, they're just, BMW's done a great job with this. And, you know, the M850i still is my favorite BMW of 2019. Maybe my favorite BMW of the last, you know, 10, 15 years. But as far as having, again, a smaller footprint, the Z4 has pretty much all their bases covered. Would I like to see a manual transmission? Absolutely. I absolutely would love to see that. But, you know, the older I get and the more vehicles I drive and the more I talk to people about what they drive and what they're looking for, the more I understand that just manual transmissions won't see, I don't think, the next 10 years. I think by 2030, next 11 years, by 2030, I don't think any vehicles will have a manual transmission in them. And that's the unfortunate reality, but no one's buying them. There's more cars on the road, there's more traffic, nobody wants to be shifting all the time. And, you know, I can go on for days about that. But anyways, that's another conversation. Quick flip, as far as the alternative to the Z4 M40i, you have a 2-cylinder engine, 255 horse, 295 pound-feet of torque, and that's their S-Drive 30i. So if you still want the sun and the coolness of the coupe or the Roadster convertible, but, you know, whether you don't want or whether you don't need all that extra power, BMW does have an option for you. For me, I would get this, because if I'm, you know, spending, you know, 70-ish grand on a luxury Roadster, I'm gonna want the power behind it. And, you know, to me, it's a simple choice. For me, this is what I want. It's just pretty much spec'd perfectly. I wish it was spec'd with cooled seats. It's got heated seats, so for your spring and winter drives, there's an option there. Anyways, let's wrap it up with a little bit of sound, and thanks for watching. I appreciate the support. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll be back sooner than later with our next review. And for now, let's make sure we're in Sport Plus, and let's use the paddle shifters, which are very nice, by the way. Really don't care for them all that much. I'd rather let the engine do the work itself, but paddle shifters are here if you need them, and off we go.